Hi, third graders. It's Miss Rayborn here. And this week we're going to talk a little bit more about coat of arms. So, last week we talked about the fact that we're connecting to your unit, how we express ourselves. And your central idea is people express themselves symbolically. So, last week we looked at a few examples or an example actually, of a coat of arms. And we answered some questions about it. And we discovered after we had done some discussion that the coat of arms we were looking at was from the country, the Bahamas. And the things in the symbols and the things included in the coat of arms really told us a lot about that country, right? And it was kind of like clues along the way, right? So this week I want to just make it clear that a coat of arms can represent a country, like the one on the left here is for the country of Zambia. It shows us a lot of things about Zambia, including the kinds of crops that they harvest, the way that they evidently in Zambia, they do a lot of mining. So we have the pickaxe and the mining here. This big symbol inside of the shield is meant to represent Victoria Falls, which is a very famous place in Zambia that people go to visit. So all of these things are just telling us more about the country, right? Coats of arms can also represent families. So this one that's actually over here to the side is a coat of arms that I comes from my family. So when I married my husband, Mr. Rayborn, he is Scottish, and his family actually has a coat of arms, and this is his family's coat of arms. So when I got married, I married into this coat of arms that is for his family. So your family might actually have a coat of arms. It might be interesting to find out if it does. But just so that everybody understands, it could represent a country, it could represent a family, it could even represent just one person, which is what we're going to talk about next. So, why is it called a coat of arms? A coat is something you put on your body, right? Or a layer that goes on top of something. So, the term coat of arms comes from medieval knights. So, as you can see from the pictures, the knights that are underneath all of their armor, it's impossible to see who they are. Their faces are totally covered, their bodies are totally covered. So in battle, they needed a way to recognize who was who. So it started as your coat because it went on the outside of your clothing, and arms because knights would bear arms or weapons. Sometimes weapons are called arms, or to take up arms, to take weapons. So that is why it's called a coat of arms, because originally it was a fabric thing that would be on the outside of your clothing, which identified who you were. Okay. So over time, they got to the place where they would make these for families as well. A coat of arms might not just represent one knight, but it might represent a country. It might represent a family. It might represent a person. So let's talk a little bit about the parts of the coat of arms. So near the top, we have the family motto. So these are like words to live by, and we're going to talk more about this as we go along. The next spot down is the crest, the object above the shield and the helmet. It's the most important thing as we go down, right? In the shield shape, which is here, there will be lots of different symbols. Sometimes it's a repetition of one symbol, meaning more than one of something. Sometimes they're different symbols. It just depends on the meaning. Okay. Some coat of arms have things in a torso or helmet spot, and some of them also have spaces out here on these outer edge, which is called the mantle design. We're not going to worry about that for our project, but just in case you're curious what that is. And then at the very bottom, of course, there is a name banner as well.